Hello gang, welcome to Colorado. Sorry I haven't had a video put up sooner than this, but things have been a little sketchy with the internet, believe it or not. Out here in the middle of nowhere, it's hard to get good Wi-Fi. Aside from that, today's video is going to be one I've wanted to do for a while. It is a video on the 510 Mora and a few modifications on the knife and the sheath that make it a little more usable, as if it isn't usable enough for me. Just a couple of things that make it a little more practical. First of all, the things you're going to need to do this, about 6 foot of paracord, one piece, you can measure it actually on the sheath, but some of the bicycle inner tube that we've used in the past, and of course you will need a Mora 510. These are readily available. Lots of places, lots of online dealers have them. This is a Frost Mora 510 model. I believe this is the KJ Erickson, which really is no different than the other model, other than the stamp. But these, I believe this one came from Ben's Backwoods. They're about 10 bucks a piece. If you don't know what these are, go buy 10 of them. You need them. They're great. You can never have enough of these. They are incredibly useful. Full Scandi grind. Plastic handle, but the tang, I've seen an x-ray picture on the internet, you can find it if you look. The tang goes to about right here on these guys, so it's essentially a full tang knife. You really can't say enough good about them. They're very good. They're thin knives, and the cheapness the cheapness alone makes them economical. But I'm going to give a close-up for those of you, very few people who haven't seen these knives close up. This is the KJ Erickson Frost Mora 510 model. It is a very thin profiled knife, and it really fits the hand very, very, very well, and it is comfortable in every grip. So the first thing I do is I'll take the paracord and we're going to make a wrap on the, you see there's several different dimensions right through here. We're going to wrap this elevated section with paracord. It looks really cool when you do it. I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. Take your paracord. Let's try it like this. Alright. Take the paracord and you're going to lay it on the sheath like so, and you make a loop. Alright. And with this loop, very simple, you're just going to start wrapping layers on the paracord itself like so. Alright. Basically, you're wrapping the loop that you've created with paracord. And just do this all the way to the top of the sheath. This is a very, very, very simple way to wrap things. Most of you probably know how to do this. But for those of you who do not, this is a valuable skill. It's technically called whipping, I believe. Alright, when you get to the top, what you're going to do is take your loose piece, this piece, slide it through the excess loop, pull it tight, and then the tail, which is left down here, pull it snug up against the rest of the coils. Alright, so there's the wrap. And once you've done this, we're going to trim it. Alright, once your paracord is trimmed, it should look something like this. And I've fused the ends with a Bic lighter. And once you've done this, the next step's pretty simple. It doesn't require any skill at all. But you're going to take the piece of inner tube and basically slide it down the end of the sheath. It can take a little bit of effort, but it's actually not that difficult. Be sure to get all the wrinkles out. Inner tube is an excellent thing to have. Once again, I know I don't have to tell you guys this. Some of you watching may not know that inner tube is hands down the best fire starter with wet conditions. If you have a lighter, light this stuff, it will burn and burn and burn. The fumes are a little toxic, but whatever. Alright. And once you get the inner tube on, you can trim the inner tube down the edge like this if you want to. I'm going to leave the excess there just for today. But that's pretty much it. Now you have a much cooler sheath. It's the same sheath, but it's like it's had an overhaul. The sheath is wonderful. You guys, I'd love to see ideas on what you guys have done improving the belt loop on this thing, because that's the other thing I don't like about it. I thought about adding a loop to the paracord and just having a paracord belt loop, but I mean, this is functional and it's fine, but one day we'll probably break off. One other important thing that I forgot that you're going to need for this is some sort of file. You could probably use a rock if you had to, but I'm going to be using the file on my Leatherman Wave. And what we're going to do with that is file the back of the knife, the spine, to make it more usable on a fire steel. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Alright, basically the way this is going to work is you're going to find a flat spot to place your file. Now you can do this at home in the kitchen table. You can do it anywhere, but the back of your knife, if you get a Mora 510, is kind of rounded and it doesn't really throw a good spark at all. But for our bushcrafting purposes, it needs to throw a good spark. So what I like to do is I take the file and I'll place the spine flat on the file. I'll put good weight on it and I'll just start like I'm trying to saw through it. Basically, I'm filing the back of this knife pretty good. And you're gonna want to keep doing it and checking it until you feel a little bit of resistance when you scrape it down your finger. Like you want a burr, basically, kind of a burr. Alright, when you think you've got it good enough, go ahead and grab a fire steel and test it. Definitely throwing sparks, a lot better than it was. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a whole lot better than it was. A couple of thoughts about the Mora. There's no amount of talking can talk you out of buying an expensive knife when you get into bushcraft. I say go do it. Go buy yourself the expensive knife. Buy what you want. If you can afford it, buy it. But the thing is, you're always going to come back to this. The cheap knives, the knives that are functional, the knives that are practical, the knives that you have one of in every backpack, this is what you're always going to come back to. I have 3 high-dollar custom bushcraft knives, and right now with me are none of them. This is the only knife I have with me. And I mean, I have a pocket knife and I have my Leatherman, but this is the only bush knife that I have with me. You cannot overestimate the value of these things. For 10, 11 bucks a piece, this knife is great. It is wonderful. Hands down, the best value out there. People love Moras. Clippers are good. The wood handle Moras are good. This is my favorite. The 510 is lightweight. I don't have to worry about the handle bucking with the elements at all. The steel is carbon. You got to take care of that. But I mean, I've never had a problem with carbon steel, and I'm rough on stuff. Definitely has been left wet. I've never had a problem with rusting, and what little bit of discoloration I have had, I've encouraged it. This guy right here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it too well, but this one's got a pretty good patina going on it, and that is from 1 lime that I sliced up, and maybe an onion. But I don't have a problem with carbon steel and discoloration at all. Moral of this video, buy a Mora 510, buy 2 Mora 510s, even buy 10 Mora 510s, and you'll never regret it. At the very least, you'll have a knife to give someone, which in my opinion is one of the nicest gestures anyone can ever do. That may seem a little too groovy for some of you, but to me, there's something special about giving a knife to someone, because to us bushcrafters, the knife is such a symbol of life. It's a big deal for me to give and to receive a knife, even if it's something as simple as a Mora. To me, one of these carries as much weight as if I were to give you a diamond ring. Well, not maybe not, but you know what I mean. This is a sacred thing. It's like a bond between friends. If you give someone a knife, you're saying you're all right in my book, and don't mess with my knives because I gave you your own. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, as always, I appreciate the views I get on my videos, and you guys stay tuned. I've got some more coming. The new location's a little iffy and kind of unstable. I really don't know how long I'm going to stay out here, But we'll see how it works, and I'll let you guys know what's going on. Take it easy, everybody. Hope all is well.